Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. So before we dive into these topics, do me a favor, if you end up enjoying this video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. Helps the videos out a ton. If you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with a few topics regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The first topic discusses how PlayStation owners will have the ability to disable crossplay, but if you're playing on PC or Xbox, you actually won't have the ability to disable it. Coming from PlayStation Universe, it says Modern Warfare 2 is rolling out today for PlayStation, PC, and Xbox formats, but early adopters have found that the crossplay feature can only be disabled if you're playing on Sony platforms. PC and Xbox gamers are unable to disable crossplay for some reason, despite the fact that you have been able to do this on previous Call of Duty games. PS4 and PS5 owners have the option to switch crossplay on or off, which some users prefer to do to limit the pool of players they are matched with. For example, PlayStation users may wish to disable crossplay so that they aren't matched up with PC users who typically use a keyboard and mouse when playing Call of Duty. So yeah, I just figured I would kind of point this out. There's really no explanation as of right now as to why PC and Xbox users cannot turn off crossplay. But if you are planning to pick this game up and play it on PlayStation, and you're somebody who plays a lot of multiplayer and you just want to match with other PlayStation players, you'll be able to do that. The second topic regarding Modern Warfare 2 has to do with the physical copy of the game, and how apparently these are basically just dummy discs and they don't really have anything on them. Again, from PlayStation Universe, it says buying games digitally is a trend that has been rapidly rising since it became a consistent way to buy games during the PlayStation 3 generation. Now there are fears with the digital-only consoles. A digital-only industry isn't too far behind, and those fears only heighten when things like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's physical copies being nothing more than dummy discs with only 72 megabytes of memory on them. With the disc only having 72 megabytes of memory, that means you'll have to download everything that is the actual game, which is a massive download, as one might expect for a modern Call of Duty game. Needing to download a patch for a game day one is common practice, but if you're putting in the disc, there's an understanding that the game itself is on that disc, meaning you can still play something even without the day one download. In this case, however, the disc that comes in your Modern Warfare 2 box is useless without an internet connection. Now, it should be noted that this isn't the case for most games on PS5, and if you purchase a physical copy, it will indeed have the actual game installed. So, this is kind of a one-off case here, not something we see too often, but yeah, I did see this kind of making the rounds, and I figured, people should probably be aware of this. If you're buying a physical copy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, it's essentially a dummy disc. It doesn't really actually have anything on it. So yeah, pretty strange, but figured I would just update you guys. Next up, we have a significant update on the Callisto Protocol. It's apparently been canceled in Japan over a censorship request coming from PlayStation Lifestyle. The Callisto Protocol has been canceled in Japan after developer Striking Distance Studios refused a censorship request by the country's rating board, Zero. This news was shared via a tweet by the game's Japanese account, in which Striking Distance offered refunds to those who had pre-ordered the game. Striking Distance has said that if it complies with Zero's request to cut the Callisto Protocol's content, the team won't be able to deliver the experience it wants players to have. The developer seemed pretty apologetic, noting that the game in its current state will simply not pass Zero's certification process. Unfortunately, this means it's completely out of Striking Distance Studios' hands. So this honestly is disappointing, I think, for anybody who was looking forward to the Callisto Protocol in Japan, but I do have to kind of commend, the studio here, Striking Distance, for just sticking to their guns here and saying, look, this is the game we made. We are not censoring anything. We made it this way for a reason, and this is how we want players to experience the game. And, when this rating board is saying, well, if you want to release it here, you're going to have to censor it, they decide, you know what, we're not doing that. Unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to release the game in this region. And, I think that is pretty respectable. I respect that from like a creative artist standpoint where, this is what they want the game to be and they're not going to fold. So there you go. Figured I would update you guys on that. Next up, we have a rumor for Discord integration and when it's going to arrive on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 from PlayStation Universe. According to a report on Insider Gaming, PS4 and PS5 Discord integration is being lined up for March 2023 alongside the next major update for Sony's current gen home console. Previously, an image on the Discord mobile app showcasing PS4 and PS5 integration had many believe that the service would be coming to PlayStation sooner rather than later. Instead, it's apparently happening on March 8th, 2023 to coincide with PS5 system update 7.0. Sources close to Insider Gaming have said that update 6.50 is due out on January 19th, 2023, although noted nothing suggests this is the Discord update. However, it seems that while PS5 will display the game you're playing and support voice chat, the PS4 will only display what title you are playing. Discord integration with PlayStation consoles has been a long time coming, as the feature was announced by PlayStation boss Jim Ryan back in May of 2021. So yeah, there are a lot of PlayStation fans who are wondering when Discord integration is going to be happening, and it's worth noting that the insider who is revealing this is Tom Henderson, who has probably the best track record within the gaming industry. So I think it's safe to put some stock in this, and we're going to be seeing it on March 8th, 2023, but it's worth noting that there will be another system update before that coming at January 19th, 2023, but that's not going to feature the major Discord integration. We'll have to see what it does end up featuring, but there you go. Moving on to the next topic, though, we're talking about Kojima Productions once again, specifically Hideo Kojima talking about what he's planning to achieve with his next game, or games, because we know he has more than one title in the works. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, it says Kojima Productions' latest games are currently shrouded in secrecy. At the end of 2021, studio head Hideo Kojima revealed they had 2 games that are in development, although that number may have increased in the 10 months since then. One of those projects is expected to be Death Stranding 2, according to a few leaks, while there's also a collaboration with Xbox on the cards. According to the man himself, Kojima's one game will also be like a new medium and will turn things around in the gaming and movie industries. Kojima is still being incredibly secretive about his upcoming games, but he did tell The Guardian that his new game is something that he'd had in mind for years. The reason why it hasn't been made yet is that the technology of the time was not capable of supporting the concept. Kojima explained, quote, "It's almost like a new medium. If this succeeds, it will turn things around, not just in the game industry, but in the movie industry as well." So this is a pretty bold claim by Kojima here, and it's actually not that surprising. We hear something similar every time Kojima's working on something new, and I think it's okay for him to be saying this because there's no doubt that he has earned the respect of people in the gaming industry because of the things that he's been able to achieve. And right now, it seems like this is very much talking about the Microsoft or Xbox project. He could certainly still be talking about whatever this PlayStation project is he's working on, but considering he's talking about the technology behind it and how he's kind of had to wait for the right time, you consider that this Xbox project is a cloud-related project. I would assume that's what he's talking about and that's what he's discussing. So again, still being very much secretive, and we'll have to continue to be patient and wait for more official information. Moving to the next topic, though, we have I'd say pretty surprising and random out of nowhere announcement from PlayStation first-party studio London Studio. Reading from Push Square, it says PlayStation London Studio, the developer of Blood and Truth and The Getaway, has today announced it's making an online co-op game set in a fantasy-based version of London, England. While the project does not have an official name yet, the concept art should give you an idea of what to expect. In a change of direction for the developer, the game won't utilize any peripherals or gimmicks. This is an out-and-out PS5 game built on the team's Soho engine. Speaking to GamesIndustry.biz, co-studio head Stuart White revealed the team wanted to explore new avenues and tackle other challenges. "We definitely wanted to try something a little bit different, and I think this new project really channels our brave value and allows us to push ourselves on the curious front too. It's an exciting future, it really is. While the project is a more traditional PS5 title, PS London Studio will try to innovate. If you look at our heritage and the titles we've done, there are a lot of firsts in there, and that will continue. Sony is planning to put out 10 live service games between now and 2026, with London Studios co-op undertaking being one of them. By 2025, Sony estimates more than half of its overall investment into PlayStation will be by way of live service experiences. The striking art style of PlayStation London Studios' game may prove popular in the game as a service space, which came about after months of planning and idea sharing. Our overarching theme is about bringing fantastical and magical elements and intersecting that with familiar worlds, and you don't get much more familiar to us than London. Some other live service titles Sony has in the works are The Last of Us multiplayer and the rumored Twisted Metal project. So yeah, this was an announcement that kind of came out of nowhere. We've been following London Studio for a little while now, but their game has mostly been kept under wraps. The last thing we did hear about it through a job posting was that it was going to be a fantasy-based game. And you know, it's interesting because seeing this concept art, let's be honest, a lot of people are immediately going to feel a little bit put off by it because there's no doubt that it has, you know, that kind of somewhat generic art style going for it, something we've seen a lot these days. And it's understandable why some people would look at this and be like, oh, okay, you know, I'm maybe not feeling it. You know, there's no doubt that when you look at this picture, it's not the most original looking concept art. It's not the most original looking game idea, but it does seem interesting. And the thing that I want to say here to everybody is, you know, just reserve your judgment. It's too early to tell. I think that looking at this concept art, you can certainly get an idea and a potential feel for what this game may end up being, but you know, at the end of the day, we're going to have to wait to see a proper trailer, to see proper gameplay before we can come to any conclusions and really, you know, pass any kind of judgment on this game. I think some people automatically, knowing that it's a multiplayer co-op game, knowing that it's one of the multiple live service titles that Sony has in development, I imagine there are quite a few PlayStation fans who automatically are like, it's not my cup of tea, you know, I'm going to pass on it. I will say, just for me personally, it was a little bit jarring to see that this is what London Studios specifically is working on, only because when you look at their history, games like The Getaway, Blood and Truth, I really was anticipating that they were going to do something a little bit more grounded, a little bit more realistic, and this is certainly the opposite of that. But I was, in a way, also prepared for this when I saw that job listing a couple of months ago that said that they are working on a fantasy title. So yeah, I will also add, before moving on to the final topic, it's a little bit surprising that they're not doing anything for VR. That was something that London Studio made clear with this announcement, is that this is just a fully focused PlayStation 5 game. They are not working with VR, and when you consider how good Blood and Truth was to a lot of VR players, I think that is, to a degree, slightly disappointing. So let me know what you think about this. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on it. I want to see some gameplay. I want to see this game in action. Hard to tell when that's going to happen, but leave your thoughts down below. Moving on to the final topic, we are once again talking about God of War Ragnarok. First up, I just want to let everybody know that the official launch trailer has been released. It's about 30 seconds long, and the thing that people are noticing with this launch trailer is that there is absolutely zero new footage being shown, and I don't think that this is too surprising. I just wanted to let everybody know that if you were expecting anything more when it comes to new footage before the game launches, it's very clear that that's not going to happen. There are some big secrets here that are being kept for Ragnarok, and I think that they've shown everything they could possibly show without potentially spoiling anything. But still, I thought the trailer looked really good. But the final thing here for God of War is we are getting clarification and confirmation that if you are somebody who is planning to 100% this game and do everything that there is to do in it, it's going to take you well over 50 hours, potentially into the 70-hour mark. This was revealed during a spoiler-free discussion on IGN's podcast Beyond. The crew talked about their experience with God of War Ragnarok, and they revealed that a 100% completion run in the first playthrough will take well over 50 hours of playtime. One of the IGN editors is around 70 hours into God of War Ragnarok and is doing a 100% completion run. This is well above the average 100% completion time for its 2018 predecessor as per playtime stats. it's likely that there is more side content in the sequel, which is something that we did discuss previously. And obviously, it's clear that there are going to be more areas to explore, and the world map in general is also going to be bigger. So I just wanted to kind of pass on this information to anybody who is thinking about doing a 100% completion run for Ragnarok. I have a feeling that many of you listening to this are absolutely planning on doing that. So if you are, you're going to be spending quite a bit of time with this game, and I think this is good, right? I feel like people, it's not necessarily that, oh, a longer game is a better game, but just when you are this excited for a game and it's a world that you want to spend a lot of time in, I think there are a lot of people who do get excited at hearing like, oh, it's going to take 50, 60 hours to do and see everything, because people really like to get immersed and they like to spend a lot of, time in these game worlds, especially when you're talking about like a premium price game. Some people buying this game at $70, it might be the only game they're going to be able to play for, quite a few months going forward. So there you go. That's the latest update for Ragnarok I have for you, but that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.